Thank you so much for joining us today for the Pastor's Potluck Podcast. Here on the Pastor's Potluck, it's similar to a normal potluck where you might get something that you want and there may be something that you just want to pass up altogether. And that's okay. There's something here for everybody. Our goal here is to encourage you and maybe in the process entertain you. If you're ready, let's dig in. You're a mean one, Mr. Grinch. You really are a heel. You're as cuddly as a cactus. You're as charming as an eel, Mr. Grinch.
That was like the best impersonation of the original song.
Dude, I wish I could sing like that sometimes and people not look at me like I'm an idiot. But, I mean, that's...
No,
yeah.
I love it. It's okay. I just sing to I Want a Hippopotamus like it's sung in the car, and my kids look at me like I'm an idiot. So,
You know what's funny is, like, there's a lot of good songs in that movie, The Grinch.
Yes, there are.
Like, a lot of great stuff. Like, I don't know, it is The Grinch, where that little girl's like, Yahoo for it. That one, that's a great song. It's catchy.
Yes.
So, like, anytime I'm decorating the house, that's what I sing.
Oh, yeah?
For Christmas time. I'm like, Yahoo foray. And just putting stuff on the tree.
The words.
Yeah, I don't know the words.
I don't know that. Yeah. So, speaking of the Grinch, my kids this week at school are having their, like, Christmas spirit week or whatever. And Tuesday was Grinch Day.
Yeah.
So, they were supposed to wear green and whatever. Well, like... we didn't have Grinch shirts or anything for them to wear. Like Carter had one when he was little for Ugly Sweater Day. But anyway, so when we were at the store, they had Grinch Hershey Kisses. Yeah. And it was like, had little sayings or had the Grinch or had whatever. Well, so I came home that night and Esme's like, Mom, I left you a special surprise on your table by your bed. And she's like so excited. She wants me to go up and find it. And I'm like, okay, fine. So I go up with her and she brings me over this little Hershey Kiss. And I'm like, oh, thank you. And then I turn it over and it says, you're a mean one. And I said, well, that's so sweet, Esme. And she goes, no, it's talking about the Grinch, not you, Mom. And I'm like, but I was a little grouchy that night. I mean, it had been a long day, like with the funeral and stuff, and I was just tired. And so I was probably a little mean that night. But yeah, I thought, this is funny. You're trying to be sweet, but you're telling me I'm a mean one at the same time.
Yes.
So, which I feel like that just sums up Esme's personality really well.
Yeah. Dude, there's things about this time of year that just brings out, obviously, the Grinch in everybody. And the closer we get to Christmas, so this is like a little family secret, is that whenever I'm in bed, everybody knows, just leave Dad alone. Just leave me alone. Erica has given the kids permission the one day of year to be able to wake me up.
Oh, yeah.
Because my sleep regiment is just, it's so structured. Like I get at least 8 hours of sleep every night. And on Christmas I do not. And I wake up in a bad mood because the kids wake me up at like 3 or 4 in the morning.
Oh my goodness. No.
And no, here's the thing. And Erica's fine with it. She's like, come on, babe, time to get up. We got to open the present. We got to do this. We got to have the kids. And I'm telling you, it drives me insane. I think one year we opened up Christmas at 3 a.m. We opened up presents. Oh,
no. I'm usually still up at that time, like wrapping and putting them away.
Well, no, here's the thing. This is how it plays out on those early mornings. Christmas, I don't put up a fuss. I am a little grumpy, which is understandable.
Right.
But she says, okay, everybody's done opening their gifts. It's time to go back to bed. And I'm like, what are you doing? Like their adrenaline is
right.
fueled their blood for at least the next 6, 7, 8 hours. Like they have waited all year. That's what the kids think about. Hey, whenever, it'll be March. And they're like, hey, what about this for Christmas?
Yeah.
how much longer till Christmas? Like my kids are constantly talking about it. They love it.
My kids will
I'm
say,
glad they love it.
next year for Christmas, can I get this? Like right after and I'm like, oh, okay, you obviously aren't happy with your stuff.
Yeah. I loved it whenever they were younger too, because they were like, we forgot to buy batteries for a toy or something like that. And they're like, for next Christmas, can I get some batteries? And I'm like, bro, we got to get some batteries before then for this toy to work. We're not going to let it sit around for a year.
That'd be like a whole new toy. Like,
no, yeah, I'll put it in my closet and we'll get batteries.
I'll wrap it again next year with the batteries this time.
So Erica wants, she's like, okay, everybody go back to bed. And my wife is the best napper of all people I've ever met in my entire life.
Man.
There's been times where she wakes up on a Saturday, she wakes up at 7:30. Mm-hmm. She's like, I'm gonna go take a nap. And it's 9:30. And I'm going, what, how do you do this? And so it's easy for her to be able to fall asleep.
Yeah.
I cannot. It has to be dark outside. I can't, I have a really hard time sleeping while the sun.
Oh. I don't have
the
a
sun's
super
awake,
hard time.
I'm awake. That's the mentality I have.
I don't have a super hard time napping, but I don't know that I could. I mean, if I woke up that early, then I could probably go to sleep pretty quickly, easily. But, yeah, I don't. Our kids are still young, so like we have a gate at the top of the stairs. It's like the only gate they have trouble opening. All the other gates we ever had, the kids like learned very quickly how to open them.
Yeah.
But this one they still have trouble with, so we always make sure we close that. And we tell them, like, you have to come get us. You can't go downstairs without us. But, like, we don't put our presents out until the night before, because after the kids have gone to sleep. Not because of Santa necessarily, but because we never really taught them that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hopefully you're not listening to this with kids in the car.
I just have a hard time lying to my kids.
Yeah, right. But like they picked it up from school and other places and people, and so anyway, and I mean, we don't write from Santa on anything. Like we don't do, like we're not those people.
Yeah.
And we've just really tried to teach, like, hey, well, like Santa knows that we're able to buy you guys stuff, and so we're his helper in that way. Like we let him help the kids whose parents can't buy stuff. Like we've tried to say that at times because they're like, which one's from Santa? Like I've gotten that question. I'm like, well, like it's just, it's so bad. I'm a terrible liar anyway. But because
this
like,
one's from Santhony Claus.
Santhony.
Anthony's her husband, for those that don't know.
But more so, like, I just don't trust our kids with the presents before Christmas. Like, Carter is an early riser. He's usually up and downstairs before any of us every single day of the week. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what time he goes to bed. It just doesn't matter. Like, he's up and at 'em before the sun comes up, before everybody else is up. Like, and Anakin, I don't know. I don't know how he would act, like, especially now, like that he's a little bigger too. Like, I think he would be like, presents, and just start,
Yeah.
And so we usually try, we wait, and then there have been times that we've gone downstairs and we've even like hung out and they're like, I want breakfast first. And so I don't know, which is weird probably for most,
for
a lot of kids, but they're like, Anakin wakes up hangry. Like he wants his milk and he wants breakfast. Like he's like, I need a snack, Mom. I need my milk. And so I don't know, but I do like taking naps, especially on the holidays. I'm usually the one that falls asleep on my in-laws' couch. Like when we go over there, everybody else is hanging out, trying to play a game or do a storytelling, doing whatever, and I'm like, see y'all in a little bit, and I pass out on the couch.
Make sure my kids stay alive, and I'm good. Yeah. I mean, I like see, we didn't do a traditional Thanksgiving this year, but I do like the post meal nap if I'm able to. Mm-hmm. Like it's like football's got to be pretty boring on that day. I mean, there's got to be a lot of stuff that that culminate and lead up to me taking a nap. Like if the kids are being quiet, which they never are. If my dogs aren't fighting, which they never are. They're always fighting. My kids are always loud. It's...
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's when it's tough, like when they're like, because you would hope that they would go like off with their things and enjoy them and somewhat behave those days. But yeah, no, our kids usually end up fighting because they want to play with each other's toys, but then they're like, they're my toys, I just got them, I want to play with them, not you, and all of that. And then if you try to nap during that, like I just get angry because like they'll come to me every couple of minutes, Mom, Anakin, blah 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 blah, and I'm like, just deal with it, problem solve, learn how to do like
conflict management for 5-year-olds. It's like I'm
like, you guys need to learn. The other day, I don't remember what it was, but I was like, you all need to learn how to handle conflict yourselves. Like, and Anthony looks at me like, what are you saying? What are you doing?
Yeah, we tried that one time, and like Nolan was fussing at Luke, and Nolan just hauled off and hit him with something in the head. I was like, brothers are going to brother, but this is not the way that we solve our differences.
No. Oh man. Yeah. And so we've tried to teach them like, hey, if you're frustrated, just walk away for a minute, walk away until you can calmly come back and talk and say what the problem is. Like, say what's upsetting you, say whatever, like use your words. Like that's our biggest, like use your words, not fists, not like, cause Esme's really bad about it. She'll be like, we'll hear, Esme kicked me, Esme hit me. And she's like, well, he da, 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 da. And I'm like, oh gosh, here it goes again.
Well, and like now that my kids are older, my youngest is 9. The iPad has just taken over for their enjoyment and leisure time. There's anything that we buy them is just like, it's, okay, this is kind of cool, but it's like, okay, like Nolan plays like a lot of, like whenever he has the time to do it, we only give them a time allotment every single day. So they've got to do their chores, they've got to do their homework and all of that stuff. They only get an hour maybe a day, just depending on what we have going on. And that's their focus. And so if we got them toys, they're like, oh, okay, like this is cool. And then it's back to the iPad. Like they literally don't get touched or played for the whole year. They if it's like something that they can build, it gets built and it gets stuck on a shelf. And that's it. And they're like, well, don't get rid of my Legos. I'm like, well, take it apart and build it. Like build something. Use your imagination. Build an airplane, which was
that's
once
what
a tank.
Last year Carter was real upset because he was like, it seems like they got more toys than me. And I was like, well, no, y'all got the same amount, but you got Lego sets that you've built and now they're just sitting there. So maybe next time you ask for things that you can continue to play with afterwards. And but I mean, we did get, like, we got Anakin these because he really likes pow pows, as he called them. Now he calls them a shooter, I think. Anyway, we got these they're like little laser guns, but you don't have to wear a pack or anything. But we got 2 sets of those, so that way they could play those together. But so we tried to get some things like that like they could do together even after whatever. But so then for Carter's birthday this year, he's like, Mom, I want Legos, but I don't want a set like that I have to build a certain thing. I want the ones like a big thing that I can just build whatever I want. And I was like,
Walmart,
okay,
dude, I'm gonna save Christmas for you. Walmart sells the big totes, 10 pounds of random Legos of all shapes and sizes, all the different parts and pieces and everything, on their website. And it comes in a big tote. And I want to say it's like 10 pounds of Legos for less than $100.
Yeah. He got a decent thing for his birthday. So he's good with that for now.
Yeah.
He picked out something else for this year. Like Anthony told them, hey, pick out one thing from the magazine and show mommy. And so they did that. Well, I didn't pay attention to prices in there. And I mean, I barely paid attention to what it was, but I knew enough to look for it in the store. And then when I got to it in the store, like Carter's is still like so much smaller than Esme's. And I was like, oh man, we're going to have this thing again. I was like, I told Anthony, I said, we got to get Carter something else also, because he's going to throw a fit that like hers is so much bigger than his. And we got to figure something else out.
Yeah.
So, it's like, I don't know, gift giving, gift stuff is interesting as a parent. I feel like,
yeah, it's a pain point, obviously. I think that for me, I don't mind getting my kids gifts.
Right.
I actually love doing that.
yeah.
It's ever since several years ago, Erica and I did a Black Friday sale. Mm-hmm. And we were at Sears or JCPenney's or Macy's or one of those department stores, and they had all their Michael Kors purses on sale.
Oh, wow.
And so we got up early. This is whenever Erica's mom was living with us for a while. Mm-hmm. And so she was going to watch the kids while we went and tried to find cheap stuff, mm-hmm. Black Friday or whatever. Mm-hmm. And there was a huge line of people that were all there for these Michael Kors purses. So whenever they pulled up the gates in the mall or whatever, people were running. Yeah. And it was like, it started getting like super violent. People were pushing and pulling and shoving, and Erica got one of the purses because I want to say that they were like $20. Like they were cheap, which, it's a Michael Kors purse. They can afford to sell it for $20 because it's Michael Kors. Sorry if you like Michael Kors, but it's a cheap purse. It's not, whatever. Anyways, I remember standing in this sea of people pushing and shoving, and I looked over at Erica. I said, what are we doing?
Yeah.
Like this unhealthy consumerism just spun me into a depression for the rest of the day.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe that people were fighting over
stuff,
trivial things.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
I mean, let's be honest. How many purses do you have?
I have this.
Oh, I know you typically carry, but if you have to have a bag or something like that.
I have a wristlet.
Okay.
I'm not a normal.
You are not a part of the norm. But I guarantee you, if you went to any random house in America,
a lot of women
that you would find somebody that like in their closet at least 5 purses.
Yeah.
Like.
Yeah.
And so this unnatural consumerism, this quest for things, it's like it frustrated me so much, and it put this disdain for me that I just don't like to go out and fight the crowds.
Right.
If I could go into a store, which obviously will never happen because they'll lose out on tons of money. Like I just want to go walk through. I want to take my time, but there's just all these people that are in panic mode and like, I got to find this stuff. I got to find the perfect thing, and I've got to do this and I got to do that. And it's like, I don't know. Like for me, it's just like, I love giving gifts, especially to my kids, but I hate fighting with people that that their sole focus is on acquiring things.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know that I've ever really done the Black Friday shopping thing. I worked retail for a while, and so I would work on Black Friday. That was fun.
I did that once.
But I remember I think it was maybe one of the first years that they had decided to open up on Thanksgiving night. And I didn't work that night, but I worked I don't know. I want to say I got there at maybe 4 a.m. and worked until 10 or something, but I got off And I remember walking through the mall, and it was like a ghost town. And it was so weird because I
Yeah.
was like, because everybody got there so earlier. So I got to go shop during that like dead time. And I remember thinking, this is amazing. Like, because I was like, there's like hardly anybody here. And
Yeah.
I didn't have to fight crowds. And there were still a lot of good sales. Like, there wasn't anything like I get if you're wanting to go and get like the big TV for real cheap or whatever. But it's like, it's not worth it to me. Like, my time and my sleep and whatever is like, and sanity is much more worth that money to me
Yeah.
than
The thing
saving
is,
some money.
The thing is now, like TVs are still
I know,
cheap
I
now.
know.
You can get
And
like a
so,
75-inch
yeah.
TV for like $400.
Yeah. But I like, so I remember thinking that for like that Black Friday, I was so excited because I think Anthony and I we were just, I think we were engaged, maybe. Were we engaged? No, it might have been right before we got engaged. Yeah. It was a Christmas right before we got engaged. But I remembered because he had always talked about how like when he would have his own house, he'd want to have this study with like whatever, and he wanted a telescope. And I remember I bought him a really nice telescope for like really cheap that Black Friday, and I was so excited because I was like, I had no plans to buy him a telescope, okay, like no plans, but when I saw it and the price, I was like, oh my gosh, I have to get this. But I remember being so excited because I was like, I can't believe, like there was another guy that was like, can you believe that these are still left? And I was like, no, but I'm really excited. And like,
Does he still have that telescope?
yeah, it's in a closet right now because we don't really have a place to like set it up and keep it. But it's in a closet in the box. But so it was one of those, like, that was probably my best experience of a Black Friday shopping experience, was just like that moment where it was just like all those people had probably gone home to nap.
Yeah.
And like nap before their food or whatever. But it was just like, it was so wild because I just could not believe how slow it was. Because I think they even like, they let me leave work early because they were like, it's really dead. Like, we don't need all y'all here. You could go. Like, and so I left and did my shopping in the ghost town and was like, this is amazing. Now, I don't know that it's like that anymore now because like people know that, you know, you can go throughout the whole time. Like, I have no idea what it's like now. I did not venture out at all this last Friday. This last Black Friday. But like, I went and did my shopping, most of my shopping last Friday while we were off. And I'd gone to the gym. We had breakfast with Anthony, and then I went shopping. And I saw someone from church there, and I told them, I said, I was talking to them, and I was like, yeah, I said, this is my first time Christmas shopping. I haven't started until today. And this older lady was beside me, like, laughed out loud at me, and she was like, are you serious? And I was like, yeah. I'm like, I
got 3 kids. I'm a pastor. Like, I'm on call all the time.
It's okay. Like, it's fine. But our family doesn't like buy for everyone. Like, we get our kids stuff. Like, my personal family will buy for us, and then we buy for our nephew and nieces on Anthony's side. I don't even see most of my mom's side anymore on Christmas. So like, and we decided, like, we had been doing either like a little gift exchange, like exchange names and buy somebody something, or then like last year I think we did like the elephant gift thing, whatever, whatever you call it. See, I don't even know what it's called. White elephant.
I don't even know what that is. I know
it's
that
like
people
you get a little gift and then you have to exchange, like, I don't know, you each draw a number and get them in order, and then you can steal or you can I don't know. Anyway, it was kind of fun, but we were like, look, like, we don't need some random whatever. Like, we're all adults here. Like, we don't care. Yeah. Like, let's just get for the kids. We don't care. Like, we're just like, stop the madness. Like, it's dumb. Like, I mean, we got, I think it was like a silicone mat and a bowl and a set of spoons and a set of cards. Like, that was what we ended up taking home that day. Like, it was so random. Like, the set of spoons is literally still wrapped up with their little thing. I might have brought them here because I was like, it's just random spoons. That it was like to play the spoons game, but we don't play those. Like, we don't play spoons at home.
Yeah.
So, you know, some people that would have like made them ecstatic. But we were just like, let's just stop. We don't need to buy each other things. Like, we're adults here.
Yeah.
We buy what we need and a lot of times what we want.
You know, like how far away does your family live? Like your extended family and in-laws and stuff.
Hour and a half.
See, that's an easy travel. Like for us, it's always a pain in the butt.
Yes.
Like because we got to fly because none of our cars are going to make it to Texas.
Right.
You know? And
who wants to drive to Texas from here?
We've done it. We did it once.
I know you guys did it. It's a lot.
But even just flying with 3 kids, it's expensive first and foremost. Yeah. And whenever we get there, everybody else has an idea of what they want to do. But since we don't live there, there's things that Erica and I would like to go do.
Right.
In terms of like restaurants or something like that. Like this happened last year. We went to this restaurant on Christmas Day. It was dinner. And it was this really nice Italian place. And
on Christmas Day?
Christmas Day.
It was open?
It was open.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And so there's it's one of those days where they do forced gratuity. Like, you know, if you come in and sit down, like you're tipping like 25, 30%.
Oh, yeah.
And that's the base.
Yeah, you should if you go out on Christmas.
Yeah. And it's a limited menu.
Yeah.
So you've got a couple of things to choose from for like an appetizer, entree, and dessert, and then that's it. It's like 2 or 3 items on each, and that's all you get. And it's like it's a nice place. It's all scratch, like pasta's made in house, and so it's going to be a pricey meal. But we sat down, and there's 25 of us.
Oh wow.
You know.
Yeah.
And we sit down and we get bread for 2 hours. And so one of my family members, I think it was my oldest brother, he gets up and he goes, I'm gonna go talk to somebody. And so come to find out that they didn't even start firing our food yet. Like because it was such a big table. And so they were trying to crank out smaller tables because there was people waiting. And so it was like all you had to do was just if you've ever worked in any kind of kitchen, what you do is you cook things in the order that they come in. It doesn't matter if it's a big table, a small table. You have to take care of it.
Yeah.
And I felt so bad for the server because they were like, "Oh, we don't even have a ticket," and so, I was like, "Well, at least charge us because everybody pays with card."
Yeah.
Like we don't have cash to tip this guy, so can you charge us? Sit around for another 35, 40 minutes waiting for them to charge our stinking cards for a drink so we can tip this guy.
No way.
And so, some families getting up and leaving because they've got smaller kids. And so this poor server is sitting there refilling water. I mean, we weren't going to eat our food because we were so full of bread and butter and oil, the dipping oil and all that other stuff. It was a disaster, and I felt so bad for him. So, but for us, like, we want to eat at, other restaurants, like really good Mexican food, which we don't have here in West Virginia. There's just like home, like stuff that reminds you of home. There's like this fast food Mexican restaurant that I absolutely love. And it's cheap. It's dirt cheap. It's like $5 and you get tea, you get cheese enchiladas, rice and beans, and the little avocado salad that comes with it or whatever. And it's great. Most people would laugh at you if you lived in San Antonio and you say, this is like a chain restaurant, but it's just home. It's like none of my family wants to go there because it's just whatever, blah, blah, blah.
Probably go there all the time. Yeah.
Yeah. Why would you want to come here and eat Mexican food? I'm like, if you understood the type of food that we have in West Virginia, it's not Mexican food. It's McCormick's Mexican food, like the McCormick's taco seasoning.
Yeah.
But anyways, and so it's so traveling for us is like a pain point. Like we love to hang out. We love to see family. Family is always on their phones, and we have a rule whenever we're around them. There's no electronics. You're not allowed on your phone.
Right.
You're not allowed on your iPads. Like you need to go play with your cousins. Well, other people, they don't have the same work schedule that I do, so they don't have off.
Right.
And so it's like, like, I just want to hang out with my family while I'm here.
Yeah.
And I feel like I'm not being able to do so. I'm frustrated that airfare is expensive. I can't go do the things that I want to do. And so traveling is a pain point. Like, I'm super excited that this year we're not doing it.
Right.
It sounds bad.
No.
And my mom and dad are coming here the day after Christmas. They're going to start their journey here, which it's going to be awesome because they get to see the new house. You know, they're actually going to be staying with us because we have space for it. They don't have to go spend $1,000 for a week of hotel. And so, which is amazing. Get to help them save money.
Yeah.
They don't have to do the commute to get to the other side of town to where we're at. So it's like whenever they wake up. And they're celebrating their wedding anniversary while we're here.
Oh, that'll be awesome.
Yeah. So on December 31st, we have some things lined up.
Yeah.
I'm not going to spoil it for you, Mom, because I know you listen to this.
So fun.
Hopefully
you can tell me
listen
after.
to it.
You can tell me about it after. I'm so excited.
Well,
That's
I was
awesome,
asking
though.
you about some things in the area. So,
that's why. Okay. Gotcha.
We're not going bungee jumping. Don't worry, you old farts.
Hey. Listen, the first time I ever went ziplining up at the New River Gorge, like I am okay with the heights I can control. So like climbing a ladder here, doing stuff like that, like doesn't bother me.
Yeah.
But like things that are out of my control with heights makes me nervous.
Yeah.
So I almost chickened out. Like I'm with this young adult group from the church I was attending in Huntington, and I am about to chicken out, but then the group ahead of me were like 70 and 80-year-olds, and I was like,
"Oh, I can't.
Like I was like, they can do this, I can do this." And then the thought went through me, well, they're close to, the end of their life, so
if something happens, it's not that
big of a deal for them, probably.
Like, I have
but
so much to
I was like,
live
this is
for.
probably their bucket list. But I was like, I can still do it. Anyway, but.
Oh, you're so mean.
I mean, well, sometimes the other thoughts, I probably shouldn't share those thoughts.
No, we have those.
Listen,
everybody has those thoughts.
Anyway, but I will say, like, it is a lot of fun if they wanted to do something like that. I don't know if it's open in the winter, but that would be pretty cool to do. Anyway, but yeah, I like seeing family on Christmas. That's probably like my favorite part about holidays is like just being able to get it together with family. Like our family is close and you would think we would see each other all the time, but we actually don't. We don't get to see each other, like just between schedules and then, different people being sick or whatever. Like this time of year, like we came to your house for Thanksgiving. Yeah. Because we crashed your Thanksgiving because our family had COVID and they were
kind of invited yourself for that.
I mean, I did, but
but that was between you and Erica.
Said no.
No, Erica said yes. But that's what we wanted our house to be used for, was for friends, for people to come over if they didn't have a place to go. And now that we actually have the space to be able to do that, like I'm super excited about it. Like I can actually host the whole worship team at our house and not be sitting on top of each other. Like once we get like everything lined up and it's great.
It's an exciting thing. But yeah, so like we don't see them all that often, and we're like hoping and praying everybody's healthy that we can actually see each other for Christmas, because we had postponed Thanksgiving and we're gonna get together on another day, and then there was other sickness and we were just like, we'll see y'all at Christmas, because we were like we'll just see you at Christmas. I mean, but we had things going on, like it's just a busy time in ministry, like between you got kids things going on, you got whatever, you've got stuff at the church going on, and so it's hard when most of your family usually is off on the weekends, but like half your weekend and sometimes all your weekend is busy with your job. Like, and so it's a hard dynamic to get used to, or figure out, like, cause it's like our one niece, it's our Anthony's sister's stepdaughter. Mm-hmm. So like they don't always have her, and they weren't going to be able to have her that weekend. They have her for New Year's, but they're going to be able to get her and have her from like 5 to 10, like bring her to hang out with family and then take her back home to her mom. Yeah. Like they've agreed for that, 'cause we're getting together the day before Christmas Eve. But it was like, she's like, well, if we can wait until she's there to do presents. And I was like, and then they were like, we can hang out until like whatever. Most people leave at this time. And I was like, oh, we have to leave by 7, but we can wait until 5 to do presents. That's fine. I was like, but we have to leave by 7 to get home and be in bed, like get the kids in bed. Cause we still have church the next morning. You know, a lot of people maybe don't have church on Christmas Eve. I don't know, but I was like, we still have church the next morning. So like, we got to leave still at a decent time. Like we can't leave at 8:30, 9 o'clock. Like, we'd love to hang out with Harper longer, but we'll see. We could come down the following weekend. And so, so it's weird. Like, it's weird though, at times like that, when your family is close and you want to get together with them, but then like they're all doing their things and whatever. So you know, schedules don't always match up, but that's my favorite part of any holiday is like, I just want to get together with y'all. We don't even like, we can all bring our own food. We don't even have to eat. Like, I don't care. We can just get together. Yeah. I just want to see you guys. I want to give you a hug. I want to catch up. Like, I want our kids to be able to play with your kids. Like, I don't really care about the presents. And I'm like, I sit there and I'm like, because I was talking, we delivered our food boxes to the schools this week. And so I was talking with one of the guys that was helping me deliver. And I was like, you know, when I was younger, like we were the kids that got these food boxes. We were the family that went to the food pantry. Like we were the kids that were on the angel tree, like, you know. And so sometimes when people have that kind of upbringing, then they want to overdo it all, like for their kids, you know what I mean? But I am not that way. And so like because I've been thinking, I'm like, am I like kind of a Grinch because of what I went through as a kid? Like, you know, or is it because like, I just really care about the things that matter? And I'm like, I don't know what it is exactly, but like, I mean, we had good Christmases still. Like I still really enjoyed Christmas. Like I didn't ever have a Christmas that like I was super bummed necessarily. Like even when I lived with my dad and my stepmom, and the home life wasn't great there either. Like we would go and get a real Christmas tree. And even though the pine needles would make me break out, like I was the one who decorated the tree and like whatever. And I still loved it. And, but I never like really cared about the gifts that I got. Like, even as a kid, like I didn't necessarily care so much about those gifts. I just enjoyed us all being together and being happy. Like, I remembered it was like one of those days that people were just happy, and like, and that wasn't always the case for me as a kid. And so like that day it was just fun and everybody's happy and we're having a good time and we're together. And that's what I remember. And that's the thing that I want to like really try to pass on to my kids is like, you know, it's not about all this stuff. It's not about tons of gifts. It's not about like, you know, it's not about the decor. And it's not about those things. Like, cause even, yes, we celebrate the birth of Christmas, of Jesus, of Christmas.
The birth of Father Christmas. His name is Jesus.
We celebrate the birth of Jesus, but it's not on this day. Yeah. Like, you know, and so even that dynamic is like, we're celebrating this, but like, it's not really the day and it's not really whatever. But like, even that, like just knowing like, hey, like we celebrate Jesus all year long, but like, this is just a special time that we set aside for this. Yeah. And then also like, just, it's not about all this stuff. Cause we don't go overboard with our kids. Like our kids got more last year than normal because we'd gotten rid of a ton of stuff. Yeah. But that consumerism and like the need to have tons of things, like it's something that's really bothered me a lot over the past couple years, that I just like, it blows my mind how many storage unit places are around.
They're everywhere.
Like, and anyone up the road that's getting built. Like we have one at the bottom of the hill here. Like I understand when it's like there are certain circumstances where you have to store things. Like it makes sense to store your furniture if you're going to a fully furnished place for a little while you save money before you can move into a house. Like there are things and situations where I get it.
Yeah.
Like it makes more sense economically.
Like you inherit
but like
family members' furniture and it's like really good stuff. And you're like, well, I don't want to just like give this stuff away or whatever.
Right.
And try to find maybe somebody who needs it, or find a place, or find somebody that would, that I could sell it to or something. But yeah. It's the quest for things for me. It's like I always want to go through and try to purge things, and obviously there's things that I like to have that are my own stuff,
right?
But I don't want to hold on to things that don't have like any kind of meaning, or no use, just for the sake of holding on to it.
Yeah.
Like it's I don't know, like my focus in life has changed drastically, because I don't know, like my new thing right now is like I'm trying to find tools, because I like to work with my hands. Like I like to do woodworking, and I like to learn how to build things. And
you have a garage now.
I have a garage now.
That's yours.
Yeah.
That you could,
But like I don't want to ever have anything for that purpose that doesn't have any use.
Right.
Just to have it for the sake of having it. And then also, I don't know, whenever I get old enough, I want to be able to get rid of it if my kids don't want it.
Yeah.
I don't want to hold on to stuff because my kids, they'll pick up woodworking whenever I have a kid who wants to be a YouTuber and somebody that wants to be an airplane mechanic or something. It's like,
or like the stuff that you collect and you just keep because you're like, oh, I'll pass this on to them, and it's like, do they really like that stuff? Like, I just think of, so my aunt, I lived in my grandmother's old house for a little while, and my aunt lived 2 doors down, and we went through and we had to clean out rooms and stuff. And there was like one room that had shelves full of like they were empty, like whiskey bottles and bourbon bottles, but they were like designed, like one was like a boot, like this cool looking boot. Like, I don't know. And there's like ones that look like the old jugs, but then there's ones that like look like a person, and like, I don't know, it was the oddest thing. But a room full of those things, or like an attic full of Barbie dolls, because they collect Barbie dolls. And then they also had those like, really tall porcelain dolls with the nice dresses on those things.
Oh, those creepy
kind of
dolls.
creepy. Yes,
dude, they're so creepy.
And they're really pretty, and they're for, a lot of people like those things. And but just like a house full. And like, what was crazy is that like, maybe I shouldn't say it's crazy. I don't think my aunt listens to this. I don't mean anything bad.
We
but
love
like
you, Aunt.
my aunt, those 2 doors down, like she would buy her this doll or Barbie, and my grandmother the same one. So there's like duplicates between the two of them.
Oh.
So like between the 2 houses. So like, she's like, oh yeah, we could sell this because I have one. We could sell that, like, and it was just like, there was so much stuff like that I'm just like, oh my goodness. Like, and there were even like things that they were like big QVC shoppers.
Oh yeah.
So like, so there were things that were like in boxes that they had bought like 2 of, so they could each have one.
Yeah.
Or, whatever, just random things. Like I think there was like this rooster, kitchen thing. I don't know. Anyway, it was in the shape of a rooster, and like, I don't know. And we open it up, and I'm like, wow, thinking you have one of these over at your house. And then I'm realizing, like, as we're going through all this stuff, I'm like, wow, they have 2 of everything, like just about. And, but just going through all of that, I'm like, I never want to do that to my kids. Like, I never want to, because it's hard and emotional, because you're going through these things. And that's the part too that I'm like, man, don't do that to your kids. Don't keep so much stuff that I know I'm like probably pressing buttons on people right now. This is the part of my Grinchiness coming out, but it's like, I don't know. It's not about this. And like, there are nice gifts. Like I probably like getting gifts as well as anyone, as long as they meet, like, as long as they're useful.
Yeah.
As long as they mean something, like, I don't know. Like,
my parents the other day, they were like, what do you want for Christmas? I was like, I really don't want anything. And my mom kept on pressuring me for weeks. I need something. I need to get you something for Christmas. And so finally I was just like, all right. So I got on like the Home Depot app or whatever. And I was like, I need a weed eater because like I have a lawn that I've got to start taking care of now. And so they were like, is that what you really want? I was like, well, I need a weed eater. Like, this is like
the difference between kids and adults. Like, once you get to a certain point, you're like, give me a vacuum.
Yeah, what about this one? I was like, well, this is the one I want because like I've looked over it and like because I'm gonna get a electric lawnmower and I said I might as well just get the electric weed eater because it uses the same battery that I could use interchangeable, and they both come with a charger and a battery, so I can always have two charging at once and just makes sense. And anyways, and so they were like, oh, I guess so. I guess. Are you sure you want a weed eater? I'm like, look, I don't want a whole bunch of stuff that I'm just trying to just. Yeah. It's either that or you give me the cost of this weed eater, but take that money and buy beef jerky. Like, it's either or. You got to give me a weed eater or beef jerky. Like, weed eaters, like, I love beef jerky. Don't get me wrong.
Give me a weed eater with a side of beef jerky. There you go. Yes. So you give me something that I like, and then you give me something I need.
Dude, I was so mad that the beef jerky place in Kanawha City closed down. Oh. It had the big sign, like, pull over right now for beef jerky. I went in there one day, and they had this prime rib beef jerky. Oh, yeah. It was legit. Best beef jerky I've ever had.
I bet that was really good.
But I don't mean to be a Grinch. Look.
What are before you do? We should have totally had.
We can make this into a Christmas one. Let's see how good our
mystery meat. Oh, mystery meat. So hold on. Before you do that though, like, what's your favorite thing about Christmas?
My favorite thing about Christmas. I actually like putting together like the toys and taking apart the stuff. Like for my kids, like if they like and putting the batteries in it, I actually like doing that because they sit in real close and they're like, oh, like that's how you use the screwdriver. Like I actually like that.
That makes more sense now because I was like, that's weird.
No, because it's got all like the ties and the zip ties, and I like to go and dig in my junk drawer to try to find a screwdriver and a X-Acto knife and. They sit down and I'm just like, oh, this is going to be so much fun, right?
Oh, yeah. You probably get it all hyped up. Like, yeah, I could see you doing that. And then being all and then
we have the power in our hands. Yeah. And, it's a battery, obviously, but that's where the power comes from to, turn it on.
Mm-hmm. No, I probably just like that Christmas morning, just sitting back and watching the kids open their stuff. Yeah. And get excited. What's your least favorite thing?
Least favorite thing. Picking up the wrapping paper because it takes up so much room in our trash cans. Oh yeah, and it's just like, God, I just spent $5 on that thing. Why did you rip it off?
I know. We just take the bag in and they throw it in as they go.
Yeah, no, but there's
we don't. Always... I know. We don't always like. I don't know. I guess our kids, we make it a game. So
What's your favorite part of Christmas?
My favorite part is watching the kids open their stuff.
Okay. What's your least favorite?
My least favorite part? Holiday shoppers.
Oh. But not on Christmas Day. What's your least favorite part of thing on Christmas Day?
Of Christmas Day?
Cooking. I wish that somebody would just come in and just be like, it's done.
Yeah. Well, we'll have whatever we have with family, and then we probably won't cook like anything normal Christmas dinner.
Well, yeah. Erica this year, I'm not looking forward to this. We'll take home leftovers
or something, but. I'm
not looking forward to this, but like Erica this year, she's like, I want a brisket for Christmas Day. I'm like, Erica, this thing takes 18 hours to cook. And we got church the previous day. Like, so as soon as we get done here, I've got to go.
Throw in the brisket.
For real.
That's funny. So we.
I may just do it before I leave for
like whenever I'd go to my aunt's house for Christmas, we would do our homemade pasta. Well, I do it a lot of times on New Year's Day because that's when my dad and them would do it. We do it on New Year's Day, a homemade pasta dish. But I actually really enjoy that. Like I did it a year or two ago, and like Anthony has pictures of Carter in there with me, like he's in like a t-shirt and his underwear. And, like, I'm in my pajamas, and we're doing this pasta, but there's flour everywhere.
Yeah.
And it's just fun. But no, least favorite would probably be
the shopping leading up to it.
Well, of Christmas Day, my least favorite would probably be the like moment where the excitement has all worn off and then they're all cranky and tired and start the fighting and the bickering over their stuff. That's my least favorite part.
Yeah.
Like, where then when it becomes all about the stuff.
I don't know how we're going to make this Christmas.
Oh.
You're making the ultimate sandwich. What are you putting on it?
Christmas sandwich with little Christmas leftovers, right?
No.
Ham.
No, I'm not
That's how
putting
we
green
make it
bean casserole
Christmas.
on a sandwich, Cheryl. Get out of here.
Open face. You do an open face sandwich with like the mashed potatoes and the gravy and the ham and the stuff.
No.
Where you just
Not doing it.
knife and fork. You know how Bob Evans would have those knife and fork sandwiches? Did you ever have those?
I've eaten at Bob Evans once.
Oh. This is probably one of the
out.
better things that they had. But like they call them knife and fork sandwiches, but it's just like the bread's like toasted and open, and then they just pile it up with all the like the mashed potatoes and gravy. They had like a roast beef one that they'd put the roast beef on top and all that, but you just like you had to use a knife and fork to eat it. So I could totally do that.
I am okay. So if I'm
regular
going,
sandwich, or are we doing Christmas theme?
No,
sandwich?
I can't do a Christmas themed sandwich. I can't put ham and potatoes on a sandwich. Potatoes on I like potato sandwiches, like fried potato sandwiches, where you cube it up and fry it and put bacon on it.
Never had that.
You never had that?
No.
Dude, we got to change some things around here. But if I'm making a sandwich at the house, I'm either doing peanut butter and jelly. It's got to be Jif peanut butter. It's got to be creamy.
Okay, but ultimate sandwich.
Is that what it said?
I don't know. I don't remember. I got off track with the Christmas sandwich.
It does say ultimate.
Okay.
Oh my gosh. Ultimate sandwich. All right. I'm doing my taste in sandwiches are different. Okay. I like a French dip sandwich. That's my ultimate sandwich. Roast beef, provolone cheese, au jus to dip it in.
I don't like the dipping it in. I don't like it when I have a thing with like texture of soggy bread or anything like wet bread. I can't do wet bread.
I can, especially if it's dipped in like.
Anthony makes fun of me, but I toast my bread for sandwiches.
Even for like peanut butter jelly?
No, not for that. That's different. I don't feel like that makes but I don't put a ton of jelly on my peanut butter and jelly. Like there's a certain amount that's like.
Yeah, everybody's got their own ratio.
Yeah.
And we all make fun of each other if we're watching.
But you gotta eat it like
jelly.
But you gotta eat it fast. Like you can't let it sit there because then the bread does get icky.
Dude, no, time out. Best peanut butter and jelly sandwich that I've ever had in my life is whenever you make your sandwiches, toss them in the cooler. You know, obviously they're in a bag, like a sandwich bag, and then you got like ice and drinks and stuff like that. And then you've been swimming all day.
Yeah.
And then you open that thing up and it's like cold.
We do the Uncrustables that way.
Oh.
I get the big thing.
That's cheating.
I know, but I get the big thing of Uncrustables like during the summer because they're easy to just throw in before we head to the pool. And
Rabbit
by the time
trail
that
moment, you should take your Uncrustable and put it in a waffle maker.
Oh.
Like dip the outside like you would do like almost kind of like French toast with like butter and cinnamon and maybe a little bit of egg.
And then put that in the
toaster? No, not the toaster, a waffle maker.
Waffle maker. Sorry, I missed that part.
Yeah, no, you don't put
My waffle maker used to be here. I don't know if it still is
toaster.
or not. I don't know what we did with our waffle maker. We had one of those like legit ones that like you put down and you had to flip the thing handle around. I don't know. It might still be here somewhere or who knows? Who knows what happened to it? But I toast my bread for sandwiches. I really like a good club sandwich.
How do you order those if you're not even a member of the club?
It's the worst dad joke.
Dad jokes.
But no, at home, like we'll get Anthony's like just the Heiner's white bread type person, you know.
I like wheat bread.
But I like wheat bread, or I like a really good like multigrain. If we're talking about ultimate like dream sandwich.
Erica calls it the crack bread.
I would do.
It's like the 7 grain that's got like the oats and everything like on the top of it. And it's like double bagged, like that type of bread.
Yeah, I like that kind of bread.
Yeah.
Like,
and it is crack
First
bread.
Watch, their bread.
Yeah.
That they give, like their toast. So good. Anyway. But yeah, I love that kind of bread. But so that kind of bread and like a really good thin shaved turkey.
Yep. I like a good turkey sandwich.
With some like probably provolone or, you know, any of the not American style cheese would be fine.
Yeah.
So last time we went to the beach, we got some kind of like Cajun seasoned turkey. I don't know. It was really yummy. And we had that, and we got lettuce and tomatoes and onion and all the stuff to like build our sandwiches. And it was so good. And it was like my favorite part of the day.
Yeah.
Every day was when we came in and we built our massive, tall, like turkey sandwiches.
Yeah.
But yeah, that would be now I'm hungry.
I know. And all we have is like a whole bunch of leftover cookies.
Yeah. So my own mystery meat, I should have just asked random questions about Christmas. What's been your favorite Christmas gift you've ever gotten?
Ooh. I think one year Erica, she probably hated it too because I used to play video games all the time. I still do occasionally, like whenever my kids are wanting to play Minecraft or something, but I don't play video games nowhere near as much.
Yeah.
And I think one year she got me like the PlayStation 4 or something. And then there was this game that came out and it took over everything. It literally took over everything. It pops up in my news feed every once in a while, your memories feed. Erica tagged me in it. She's like, I wish this Destiny game would just give me my husband back. In 1 year, I played like 2,200 hours of this game.
Oh, man.
I would stay up. Now, this is before ministry. This is Jared stay at home, drink himself to obliteration, playing video games.
Okay.
But I played this stinking game so much, and I loved it. And then Erica got so mad because she bought it for me. So, and I actually met some really cool people online because you could play co-op and like with a group. They called fire teams, and so
that's fun. I don't think I have as cool of a story like that.
Yeah. I still keep in contact with those guys, like through Facebook.
Well, that's cool.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I am not a video game person.
What about you? Best gift?
Oh dear. Trying to think. I think that I'm trying to remember if my Kindle was a Christmas gift or a birthday gift.
That's a pretty good gift.
I think it was my Christmas gift. And I mean, I use it a ton still.
I've always wanted one, but I just don't like the subscription model for things. But the digital copies of books are the same price as a physical copy.
Yeah, but once you get to a certain amount of books, it's nice to not have the. But I like the Kindle Paperwhite because I can read in bed at night and I don't have to have a light on. Like I don't have to worry about bothering anyone. Like it was great when when my kids were young and I'd be up in the middle of the night with them. Like I could just, read on my Kindle while they were nursing or while I was rocking them back to sleep or whatever. I didn't like doing a physical book like that is so much harder.
Oh yeah.
And so, and with like little kids, we had to read a book. We were reading a book as a teaching team once. It was like something about teaching or preaching or whatever. And I lost that book for a long time. It wasn't until we got rid of our couch that I found that book. It was like somehow back behind that couch, like stuck back. And we had looked back there. I had looked back there, but I couldn't see it the way that it was stuck. I don't know. Anyway, because my kids will grab stuff and do things with it, and they had a fascination for a while. Like when we moved the couch, we found a lot of stuff because it was a really heavy sectional, so we never moved it. But like we found a lot of stuff that they put back behind there. But my Kindle was probably the best thing. Like a close second to that is probably my Ninja coffee maker. But Anthony bought it at the time that I was pregnant with Esme, and I couldn't hardly drink coffee, not because I wasn't allowed, but because it gave me really bad heartburn, and like with Carter, I couldn't drink it. It literally made me sick. Like I could not drink it. It would make me puke. And so I didn't drink it for a while, and then I didn't drink coffee for a while because I was nursing. So it took me a while before I was actually able to use the Ninja coffee maker. But
is it one of those ones like we have that's got like it's so it could do pots? You could do, it's got a setting to do pour over. It could do K-cup. It's got like the little frother on the side.
It doesn't have K-cup, but it has, you can do a pot or cups, and you can do, it does have the frother on the side. Yeah. But it has all the different, little settings or whatever. But yeah,
Erica loves it. Yeah. I don't drink coffee, so, she has it.
And I don't make coffee at home as much as I used to, because I feel like I'm never, like I leave as soon as kids are out the door. And so I'm never, and I know you can set it the night before, but like it never fails. Like if I'm just doing the amount for my travel mug, it doesn't automatically keep the warmer on, because it only does that if you do like a half pot or bigger. And so sometimes by the time I get to it, it's cold. And so like, I don't like to do the timer. But yeah, that's probably my favorite.
Well, yeah, we know.
It's that season. Are you a Grinch or are you a Santa?
I don't know. I wouldn't even say Santa. I would say somebody from Whoville who likes it. I like it. It's just certain aspects of it that I just don't like.
Yeah. I think that's probably everybody though. When you really get down to it, I think everybody probably has some things about the holidays that they don't like. Yeah. Like some things. Like some people love the music, others don't.
I don't like it. All right, but before I get myself in more trouble, thank you for listening to this episode of the Pastor's Potluck Podcast. We hope that you have a wonderful Christmas, and from all of us here, Merry Christmas to you and your family and your friends. Love you all. Thank you for listening, and we'll see you next week.
Merry Christmas.
Thank you so much for listening in with us today. We really appreciate it. If you haven't done so already, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. You can also follow us on social media, on Facebook, Instagram. You can also watch the video version of this on YouTube as well. All you have to do is search up the Pastor's Potluck Podcast. From all of us here, we want to say thank you, and we'll see you next week.